half hour past the normal showtime.
But I thought we were going to be short tonight. Hey,
well,
Andy,
would
you look at it?
We can't make short jokes. Yeah, we can't make short jokes. We've already been called on that. So, well, we haven't, but somebody else has.
I'm used to it.
But anyway, Andy's show. Don't forget, tune in for Andy, Living Loud with Andy. And I think, what is Kicker Club up to? How about almost 70,000 members now?
I don't know.
I don't know. I knew it was
crazy.
about that. So, just look at it, Kyle.
I know. I have been.
Too funny.
You look at it. Would you look at it?
He wants to do more than look at it, but that's all he can do at the moment because he doesn't get one.
I am looking at it, John and Kyle. The L7XS looks awesome. And, oh, man, I'm glad they played it tonight. But, of course, it's 10 o'clock Eastern here. This is the Kicker Unmasked After Show. If you got any other questions, want to talk about the L7XS, I'll try my best. But without further ado, we have to kick off the intro. But Shoot Dog, Shannon, Frank, Pete, Double E, Frank, you guys are awesome. Of course, Basehead 30. Without further ado, I'll see you guys in 3 minutes.
Okay. So we're kicking it with Andy, right? You know what that means. We living loud.
Tonight is going to be a crazy topic. The L7X predecessor, or Big Brother. Oh, man. I don't know, Garrick. I think you're going to have to take that other sub out of there. I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you.
Let's talk about the L7XS woofer.
Let's talk about it. Man, it's not here yet. I don't have one. All we can do is look at it. But you know what? It's okay. Just because it's Tuesday, baby steps. One step at a time. Soon the L7XS will be in our hands if you actually want one. So I can't wait. But it was just cool to hear the backstory of Kyle designing the L7XS and the team, the whole kicker team. I mean, there's a bunch of guys that do this stuff. So it's not just one guy. But Kyle was definitely a lot of brains behind it. Hold on a second. I didn't get my normal prep time in between streams. I'm like, oh, I gotta go live. It's already 10 o'clock here. Oh man, gotta go. Here we go. Long show, but of course, an awesome, awesome topic. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Mr. Holloway, how you been, man? Thank you for tuning in. Haven't seen you in a while. It's so weird with everybody's names that are different now. It's driving me nuts, but I'm getting used to it. Thank you, Shannon. Question, being that I got a box design made for 4 Solo X12s, even though they say the XS series, the XS series will fit and they're slightly different, would be my best interest to wait for the XS specs. Now, I did like how they talked about it a little bit tonight with the XS, just the mounting part, the cutout is going to be, I think he said a blade difference. So that would probably be 1/8 either bigger or smaller. I would guess bigger. So at the very least, you're going to have to make adjustments on your cutouts if the box is already done. But if the design is the design, like you showed me, I wouldn't worry about it too much, because then, you know, that's the thing with box designs. And I would love to get Mr. SDK Enclosures on here, Drew, or just somebody at the kicker team that does a lot of their, you know, box designs and that kind of stuff, where my opinion on it is, you know, even if like the port is like 1/4 of an inch, you know, too skinny this way, it's not going to be a huge difference. It can be, but is it going to be a massive difference where you might not even notice unless you're just strictly testing it? So, and I feel like with the kicker recommended enclosures, you know, they're big. They're not huge, you know, but they're big. They got big ports. You know, I usually design boxes where the box is big in relation to the port. And like the kicker spec isn't quite that, you know, just different. You know, it's like that rule of thumb stuff, what I hate preaching, but it kind of, if you look at it, it is around that 12 to 16 square inches of port area. And I tend to build enclosures with like 8 to 10, a little bit lower, more port velocity. I build lower, you know, just tuned systems per se. Right? Appreciate you guys so much, man. Kicker car, he won't even let me finish the subject. He's like, hold on.
Cue the drum roll. All right, open your boxes. Open your boxes. What? You get a green team membership. You get a membership. The membership. The membership. The membership. The membership. The membership. You all get a green team membership.
Thank you so much, Kicker car. Appreciate your support every day, every time we're live. 50 gifted green team memberships to just keep the community here. Thank you guys, and thank you, Kicker car. I know he's excited, already making plans for the XS, you know, just because, you know, he's used to the 8s, but I do not think that they're going to make an 8 in an XS, and they could, but I don't think they will, and if they do, it's not going to be right away, just like how the 8 was delayed compared to the 12, 15, and 10 Solo X. So, yeah, but thank you so much, man. I appreciate it. But, yeah, back to the subject. I don't think it's going to be a huge difference. But if you're pulling teeth and trying to get to the nth, yeah, it might be a little bit different. The thing's got more bore and stroke, right? But I feel like, you know, with the XS, the biggest difference you're going to notice is the power handling. And that's why I commented on the stream. I'm like, you know, I got enough power, and it's really, even to Overkill Customs, he's got like how many 18s in his, you know, just like bulletproof van. You know, he's thinking about switching. I'm like, yeah. Same reason why I would. And it's really that power handling difference to be able to play at that higher amplitude, let's just say, longer, you know, and I feel like you're going to have that. And also maybe better low-end extension because you're not going to bottom out as early as you would because you have more excursion. But then do you run into port chuffing? I feel like with kickers' recommended specs, it's really hard to hit that port chuffing speed of terminal velocity, right? Like 30 milliseconds or whatever it is. I don't know. Just 30, right? And they're usually around like, 15 to 18, give or take. So that you got some wiggle room. So is it going to be a huge difference? Can you put an L7XS into an L7X enclosure? If they're saying yes, I believe it. And just with my own knowledge of just, box design, what I know, yeah, I think it'll work too. Appreciate you guys for tuning in. Again, Kicker Car, appreciate you for that. And I don't know why this did not come up here on this. It should have came up there on there. I don't know why that didn't come up. Appreciate you, Kicker Car, though. Thank you so much for donating and always tuning in. Okay, cool. So I'm going to leave this one here. We got this one here. This monitor needs to move a little bit. Thank you, William. And he knows that sometimes you just got to step back and look at it. Would you look at that? Would you just look at it? Just look at it. And I mean, it is a beautiful, beautiful subwoofer, man. I did post this in Kicker Club here already. I was missing a little bit of the stream. But man, this thing is an awesome looking subwoofer. I know you guys watched the live stream, but I had to put it on there on Kicker Club so people could take a look at it and just look at it. Again, Kyle, you did awesome hanging out with John. John's a pro. We know that. Kyle, you did great. We're going to have you on the UnMasked show again. And amazing mustache, by the way. Amazing. I've never seen a chevron mustache look so good. That was awesome. Appreciate you so much. And thank you, William. You got to look at it, man. You definitely got to look at it. But that thing is awesome looking. And, I know it's not the same, watching on a live stream and seeing it in person, hearing it in your car. But as close we can get to it, I mean, that's awesome to see it moving, man. And to have the claim of 4 inches of peak-to-peak excursion for a kicker. If I would have said that 5, 6, 7 years ago, a lot of people would have laughed in my face. Ha, ha, ha. So it's just great to see what they're doing in the big SPL league. And, I mean, that's what I do, man. SPL stuff. Thank you, William. Appreciate ya. Joe Oregon, thanks for hanging out again. Oh, yeah, and by the way, I did take a look at this, and the one wire is disconnected in the back, and I was actually going to take this 12 out. That's why it's still not connected. And I was like, no, I'm not going to do it. I'll go with the Kicker Gold 15. Short recap, the L7X15 killed my dad's Toyota RAV4 electronical latching hatch. Yeah, went gonzo, bizo, broco, $500, yo. And so we're downgrading that a little bit. And let me tell you, that Kicker Gold 15 in just a prefab enclosure sounds awesome. I mean, it's 5.3 cubes. It's oversized. 37 hertz, not tuned super low, but it still digs down deep. It sounds great, and really about the same box as the L7X15 was in, just a lot less power, but on a Warhorse at 2 ohms. So that just kind of goes to show that you can run a 10,000 watt amp on a Kicker comp. Doesn't mean you can blow it up. You just have to play it responsibly. I know, I told Nate on the way home, like, there's a Warhorse on this thing, right? He's like, what? I'm like, yeah. And you didn't smell coil once, huh? Yeah, I mean, great responsibility comes, or great power, should I say, comes responsibility. Shoot Dog, not sure they can make an 8. There would be no cone, and that's the thing too, man. With those coils, I mean, at least there's still a 3-inch coil, so I mean, I feel like there is a possibility. But with all that excursion, that spider has to be a certain way and just all that other fun stuff. And if you look at the 8 compared to the 10, 12, 15, it has less excursion. It doesn't have it has the interchangeable recone, but you have to glue this around down, which isn't terrible. I mean, man, I feel like you could have made it not glue 100%, but if you're going to have to glue anything, that's the easiest thing to glue, because if you're trying to glue a spider and shim it, that's a pain in the butt. But if you're just doing the top of the surround, I've done that myself with, JL way back in the day, with their foam surrounds that just disintegrate to turn into nothing. But yeah, it would be cool, but right. Yeah, I don't know. I'm surprised they made an 8 to begin with. Who knows? They might make like a 6.5 or something too. Shannon, why are you asking about cutouts overall box size? Thank you for tuning in. Jason 2000. This guy's always hanging out. Appreciate that you're here tonight with us. XS, the guy says she said not to worry about. Oh, the guy she said not to worry about, right? Yeah, don't worry about him, honey. It's just an XS with 4 inches of excursion. Peak to peak, 4,000 watts RMS, 4-inch coil. 18. Just don't. It's just a friend. Thank you, Kicker Car. Adrian, thank you for hanging out with us. If it's too loud, you're too old. Absolutely, sir. Absolutely. Thank you for hanging out. Hope you've been well, sir. Wow, 50 subs. Oh, man, he is gifting to the green team all the time, man.
Green team.
And it looks like Double E's green, so he probably got gifted a green team membership at least one point, or he's just been here since day one like a lot of you guys. Love you, Double E. Appreciate you. And I will be upgrading Cookie Monster to the L7XS as soon as I get my hands on one. All I can do now is look at it. They said it. That's all I'm allowed to do. It's terrible. I have to wait months, 90 days, man. It's going to be hard. It's going to be really hard. I'll be fine. Cookie gets a little bit of a break, and then as soon as it's here, honey, I'm going down to storage. We need to get Cookie Monster stat. Kicker Car is the real deal. Appreciate you guys hanging out. How's everybody's Tuesday? Thank you for tuning in. And yes, Frank, it does matter. Pinko328, thanks for hanging out. Oh, Vader Cruiser here. What's up, Andy? Thank you for tuning in. You haven't got a taste of my new 318 wall yet, Invader. Man, speaking of Chris here, I don't know why. There it is, right there. He's the guy that actually made this for my dad, so thank you so much, Chris. Love looking at it every day. Dad looking at us, just looking at it. Appreciate you for tuning in, man, and thank you for being here. And I know that was an awesome build. I know you wanted to go with Kicker Solo X's, and now that they have these, it's like really tempting to switch everything you have. And you got some good gear, man, and that just shows a lot. So that's awesome, man. Thank you, Simon Stately. Shoop Dog, I get it, man. He keeps popping on the screen. Love you, Shoop Dog. Oh, man, we still need to get that video. But kick the like, guys. Kick the like. 318 wall yet Invader, and now I'm tempted to switch out to 3 of the XS. See, and think they would do good in 6.25 cubes each. Right, and that's a little bit on the lower end of recommended volume. Now, with the old Solo X, they give a range 5 to 10 cubes ported, and I think it was like 4 to 8 cubes sealed, or 3 to 6. I forget exactly what it was. But with the new ones, they don't have that. And every other Kicker sub, they do have like that range, the CVR, the Comp VR, it's either like 2 to 4 or 3 to 6 cubes ported. They give you that range. And with the Solo X, they don't. And whenever I put the X15 in my dad's car that broke my dad's hatch, okay, that box was small, like 4.3 cubes, tuned to 37. A lot of port area for what it is, around 16 square inches per, like a prefab box, but with all that cone and power, it worked, right? And my L515 that was in there did not sound nearly as good in that box, and I thought that box was a flop. Put the L7X15 in there, sounded amazing. Put on the CX1800, Warhorse, yada yada. You get what I'm saying. Smaller box and recommended, because they recommend 5 cubes plus the port area for the 15, and this was about a cube and a half, 2 cubes smaller than that, and worked amazingly for over 2 months. But I drove the car every day, like a daily 3-4 times out of the week, full tilt boogie. So with that 6.25 cubes for the 18, I think that's enough, you know what I mean? And you can fix a lot with some power too. Thanks for tuning in, Chris. Appreciate you, man. Yeah, probably Double E. Probably. We'll switch one day, maybe, just maybe. Grab that latch mechanism at a local pick and part, man. I needed it stat, and 2019 newer vehicles, Yeah, it's very fancy. I tried eBay and it was actually the wrong one, even though it was the right one. It looked like the right one. It wasn't the right one. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe. We'll see. I need it for work more than just bass, but we have the bass. It can't go without the bass. We tried going back to the 8 and it just, too much of a difference. Now, if it was a L7XS, which I've been trying to get my hands on, that wouldn't be too bad. But that gold 15, it's not sitting over here anymore, sounds awesome, dude. And I played the 10, I played the 12s in sealed boxes, and I never really put one in a ported box. Man, it's like you can just tell it's a different speaker. Like, it sounds good. I'm like, wow, I can play this music now. Not that the L7X is not an SQL monster, but it's just physics, right? Kip, thank you. Love you. Hope you're doing well. Thank you for tuning in. The Solo X8 is practical for its size. Once you move to that size driver in the XS platform, it won't fit in one of the most requested places for a long throw 8. Under truck, right. And that's why they're so popular, the 8s and the 6.5s, is because trucks, right? Otherwise, if you're trying to fit subwoofers in a truck, you know, if you've got like an extended cab, you can do like the wedge boxes or the kicker down firing, or, you know, just under seat enclosures that are firing up or down, not forward facing, because then the kids, you know, they're going to be like 5-6 inches lifted off. You know, you got to have the big lifts under those seats to fit a 10 or 12 inch subwoofer box, you know, just the sheer size of the diameter of the driver. So the 8 is a little bit more practical, and even 6.5 to fit in there with minor adjustments. And then with the long throw and like the angle of the seat, you know, you're just getting longer and longer mounting depth of that speaker. And that's exactly what Kip's talking about here. Because then that seat's going to have to go higher, because then the box got to go out farther, higher out, you know, because they do go at an angle down towards the back to use up that airspace. So very good point, Kip. And, you know, it's like you got to think of all these aspects of designing and choosing which speaker sizes to make. And that's what Kicker, Steve Irby, and the whole team, Kip included, do every day. Thank you for tuning in, Kip. Love you, man. Yon So, thank you for hanging out on Facebook. Appreciate you. Simon on Facebook as well. You guys are great. Let's see here. I do want to pull up. Yeah, we are on the Facebook there. Living Loud with Andy. And, okay, he's on my personal profile. Appreciate you guys tuning in on Facebook. But you know where it's at, YouTube, for the main conversation. Thank you, guys. Frank the Tank. Done. I know it's game over, man. Put the smackdown on the like button. Thank you, Garrick. Appreciate you. Hope you've been well, sir. Ryan Wilson 2118 says, I think I'll do 8 cubic feet for the new 18. That's recommended. And I did 10 cubes. And when I used the original 10-inch port that I've been using for the old 18, it worked. But then I shrunk the port with an 8-inch port, and that's like way not enough port area, but because the enclosure was over the recommended sizes, bigger, on lower power I do better, and somehow on the score in the vehicle I'm louder, and it just, one time that just didn't make sense, but it worked. And with 8 cubes, I feel like that's when you can run that recommended 125 square inches of port area, and then you get nice bandwidth. And then it all depends with loading transfer function of the box to the vehicle and all that stuff. Cookie Monster's weird. It's like a wall that's not a wall, that the box is bigger than the car. You know, you don't get any cabin roll gain out of it. You do, but you don't, and it's just weird. So it acts like kind of like a 6-order, so that's kind of why that works, and, you know, whatever. Your normal application, yeah. 8 cubes with a lot of port area. With the 12, I went with Kicker recommended spec. Mr. SDK Enclosures over here, he built it to Kicker spec, 3 cubes, and I think it was 45 square inches of cone area, or port area, and I think it was like 42 inches long. You know, it was like literally what Kicker recommended, because that's what I wanted to do, was have something emulating exactly what they recommended and see how it sounded, and it sounded great. And that's the thing, when I gave EXO a demo of the 12, it got a little hot because I was running to 2400 at half ohm and impedance rise, higher frequency, doesn't cool as much, but it was getting up to almost a 60 hertz range, and I'm like, I'm in a hatchback, but still I was like, wow, it sounds good. So yeah, man, absolutely. Thank you, Ryan Wilson, for tuning in. Appreciate ya. Maybe kickers should do an oval sub, 8-inch tall and 12-inch wide, like the old Boston Acoustic SP555. Perfect for underseat truck boxes. I can't believe that those came with like spare recones too, those oval ones you're talking about there. So cool. Believe it or not, if you go into Steve Irby's office, you might see something. But will they make something like that again? Probably not. And I seen a post in Kicker Club where somebody was actually asking about, I think it was Bass I Love You, Jose. He asked, why doesn't, Kicker or whoever make bigger subwoofers exactly like what you're asking? And I wanted to get all into it, and I was actually at Sheets, and I'm like, I'll get into it later. And I want to talk about it now because you brought it up. Literally, I feel like there is extra engineering that goes into it, of course, just like the Square, right? But with the Square, at least you're utilizing it. There's extra steps, but you're utilizing more of the surface area of like mounting multiple in there. It looks cool. You get more cone area for the size. Now with oval, you don't get that. You couldn't, and whatever, but it's just an odd shape. Really, circle is the best shape. It's the easiest shape to make. Yeah, less cone area, right? But easiest shape to make. Sound waves and just how a speaker, kind of does its thing. And when it's an oval, there are some trade-offs. And I'm not an engineer, but I can just tell there are some trade-offs. Now, don't get me wrong. I love my KS 6x9s. I like them better than the 6.5s. Probably because they play lower bass, right? They're a bigger driver. But Kicker has to do all these things. So to make a subwoofer like that and do that, they could, but it's just the same problem if you think about it for the average person, running Square subwoofers. They got to go out and buy a Square subwoofer box. They can't go to their local shop. If it's not a Kicker dealer, they're probably not going to have Square cutouts. So now you got to make round oval cutouts for all these boxes or get it customly done. I feel like it's for the gains that you would get, which would probably be just cosmetics, would be not worth it to invest all that time and money when people are just going to be deterred from that fact alone of like, man, I got to make a custom box. They don't got it on Amazon. They don't got it at Best Buy. They don't got it at my local shop. Why don't they have oval subwoofer boxes? Because there are none. Now, if everyone started doing it, sure, it might be a thing, if Kicker's like, all right, well, we did Square, let's try a different shape. And if you kept doing it long enough, it probably would work, man. Good question, Jason. Thank you for always hanging out, sir. Kip is up in the chat, and we can't start the show without Bobby.
Uncle Bobby B, baby. Uncle Bobby B.
Uncle Bobby B, baby. Thank you for hanging out with us. What do you think about the XS? I want to hear what you have to say. Joke change, what's up? L7XS 6.5 will fit. Right. For that whole problem with the truck boxes, that whole thing I was talking about. Kip, he's got a point. If you don't have to go as tall this way and you have to go this way a little bit, I'm make it happen. Appreciate your choke change. What did they say about the basket? It's slightly larger. Thank you, the Ram, for hanging out with us. And yeah, Kyle did mention that, and I rewound a little bit because I'm like, okay, gotta do this right. And I think it was a blade width wider. Kip, let me know. I would think it'd be wider because this thing's probably got, it's got more throw, right? So it'd probably be a little bit wider. Maybe they had to do some things. And you can always make things wider. You can't make things smaller. So that would be a good upgrade. Say you have the L7X box already done and you have the L7X and you want to put in the XS. All you would have to do, they said sandpaper, that might take a while. Jigsaw, just done. leave it, forget it. Usually what I do, especially with like something like that, I just cut a little bit, cut a little bit, cut a little bit, cut a little bit. Does it fit? No. Cut a little bit, cut a little, because you can always keep cutting. If you make it too big, there's no going back. Yes. From my understanding, it is 1/8 wider cutout. The RAM. Thank you for hanging out. Question, Andy, how big are the square tweeter horns you have in your doors? Thank you, Garrick, for tuning in. I have the ones on the dash by the window, but they're not connected. They're for looks now. Can't go back, right? Can't cut backwards, right? So those are there. Plus, they look cool. Too much reflection right off the window. No bueno. I like my ears. But the 1.5s are on the door. And the square horns, it's got the little square baffle, but the actual horns from Kicker are circle, but it's got a square little baffle. I don't know the exact size on that. I want to say if that's 1.5 inches, it's probably a 3-inch square. I would have to go out and measure that. I'll let you know, Garrick. I'll be heading down to storage here soon. I like to check on Cookie, make sure batteries are good, fur's not on fire. You know, fun stuff, right? Anytime you park your car for a long time, you have to look at it. You have to look at it. Recommended port areas, definitely different between slot port and airports. You know, and this is a topic all in itself as well, with just, you know, how ports work, port velocity, the chuffing factor, right? And the chuffing factor is pretty much, you know, just hitting that terminal velocity where that sound wave is not a sound wave anymore. And you're not going to get any louder. It's not power compression, but it kind of like acts like it, where you're just not getting any louder. You hit your maximum, that's it. Port's not doing anything more. But then you throw in a aeroport that has the same amount of port area as that, you know, whatever. Square, we'll go rectangle, because square, I feel like it's not that big of a difference, but we're talking like skinny slot port. Rectangle, like a 1:8 ratio, you know, rectangle, skinny. Normal prefabs you see, you're going to need a little bit more port area because you have different amounts of velocity because of the shape of it. When it's a circle, think about it as like a turbine. You know, there's going to be least resistance on the inside and more as you get closer to the outside, just that push-pull. Your port is a speaker, you know, and I'm not a mechanical engineer by any means of the trade, but I would love to learn more about that stuff, fluid dynamics, just all that fun stuff. Thank you, Jason. Appreciate you as always. Let's see here, Mr. Kip. An oval is just a circle and a square combined. Yeah, what is it? I forget the ratio of figuring out an oval, because I had to figure it out the other day. To figure out a 6x9, it's literally like an 8-inch circle. Yeah, it could be. Let's see. Hole diameter was a little larger too. The hole diameter was a little larger too, right? So, you know, I don't know. I don't want to speak for them, you know, because then that gets me thinking too. If the screw diameter's off, is it going to be off enough where you put a new screw in there, it's not going to either bite right because it goes through one screw hole and then goes through the old one. If you ever put a screw hole too close to one, you know this problem. And then you got to shift it. With squares, you can't do that. It's the same thing no matter where you go. So that's definitely a con for square subs, even though I love them like my wife. But still, that is a con with that. So I would love to see that, like the L7XS in the Kicker L7X unloaded enclosure. I would love to see that, make sure that works, how much fabrication you would have to do that, and just the details on that. I don't want to speak past my my budget here. Also, you need to find music that uses square waves or it just won't sound good. I mean, this can't be more farther from the truth. It just I'll go with it. I do like square waves.
Just look at this, John. Look at it. The new Kicker L7XS. Square as a pizza box, but built like a brick. I mean, seriously, would you just look at this? I'm looking. Man, would you just look at this? Look at it.
You just gotta look at it. You gotta look at it. All rectangles are squares, but not all squares are rectangles. And yes, I mean, Makes sense if you don't think about it. Absolutely true, Kip. Thank you for tuning in. Again, appreciate you, sir. How is the Amazon stuff going? We need to catch up. 7.2. RAM, yes, I think I was a little tiny larger. With frame is a tiny bit wider. They made a new one so it's able to fit in the same mounting hole. Okay, so that would be... So the mounting hole is roughly the same. It's just the actual cutout needs to be a sliver wider. So really what that's telling me, if that's the case, that the cutout between where you have to cut out the speaker and then the mounting hole of the screw is actually narrower. But so that it can be swapped in with the L7XS. That would be awesome. I don't even know what that is, Dubby. I don't know what that is. What's the best material for a box? My current box is birchwood. Should I do MDF instead? Okay, so, yeah. My honest opinion. It's not birch, MDF. I mean, if you want to get into it, there's some really high quality wood out there you're not going to find at Home Depot or Lowe's. But when it comes to like just designing it and what material to use and you're building it and you're not looking at, okay, can I stain it? Do I shag it? Is it really good against water or not, and longevity? And there's a lot of pros and cons, but if you're looking at just material strength, there is nothing wrong with MDF. Weight is a huge factor with MDF versus any kind of birch, veneer birch, or just regular wood. It's going to be lighter than MDF. But then that MDF, though, man, I mean, a lot of people be using that stuff in SPL builds because it's very solid, and there's a reason why it weighs more. And there's ways to combat that. You can put some resin on the wood, you know, to like thicken it and make it less porous. And then it can act just like, you know, we'll say MDF. I mean, that's really pulling hairs in SPL. But for your normal person just building an enclosure for 212s, 15, 18, 415s, you know, in a regular vehicle setup, it really comes down to what you want to do, you know, and your budget. MDF is going to be cheaper. It's definitely going to be cheaper. And between birch or just regular wood and MDF really stinks to cut. Unless you have a ventilated area, you're breathing that stuff in. It's like glue smushed together with sawdust. That's MDF. Thank you for tuning in again, Ryan. Appreciate you. Kip, did Kicker cancel the Q-Class sub replacement? Are they still working on it? I'm sure they're working on it. Okay, thank you, Kip. The STs, Street Series tweeters, are 2.5-inch square, so it's close. I'm thinking 3. 2.5-inch square for that little square baffle. I mean, you got to put it on there. It just matches the Street Series 7s and 9s that I got in the car. I miss those a lot. I hate putting my car in storage because there's like, you know, like right now it's like I could still drive it. Like there's no salt. That's the reason I don't want to have it here. Plus I have a carport now and garage to work on stuff. But salt. Yeah, salt. Pennsylvania, no bueno. An oval is someone who doesn't know how to draw a perfect... I mean, technically we're all ovals, right? Okay, so 3.5-inch square for the... Okay, for the 1.5 is 3.5-inch square. So 3 was a good guess. It could have been right for either one and actually wrong for both. Justin, thank you for tuning in. It's Tuesday. It does not feel like a Tuesday, man. It's been so rainy today. And did you watch the XS show, Kicker? Did you watch it? Go look at it. Go look at it. Well, you know what? We're just because Justin's here, we got to play it again. Just take a look at this thing. Just take a look at it. Might as well get some sound going here, huh? There we go. Just look at it.
What I can see here with that power, we're looking at in excess of 3 inches of cone travel. Yeah, as we move this thing into it.
There you go.
hard to see by the shutter speed.
Mike DePauli, 25
We can do
months.
this all day long.
Mike.
Man, that thing's moving. You got a little bit more in it?
Gain's only halfway up, folks.
There's more. It's about 4 inches of travel right there. We're not even maxed out. That's only about 2/3 of the power.
Sheesh.
Wow.
Beautiful demonstration and just something nice to look at. I mean, wait, hold on. There we go. I need my screen. Okay. Had to show that for you, Justin, in case you didn't look at it. I know Justin, you know, he's a YouTuber. He's not a dedicated brand YouTuber like here, but he likes his kicker. He likes his kicker. It's hard not to like. How's that Q-Class treating you, by the way, sir? The Q-Class driver replacement is still in the works, and I would say that is definitely a wink. Oh, there we go. There we go. That is a wink from Mr. Kip-O-Licious. Let's see. Kip-O-Licious stand alone key DSP. You guys are trying to get too many winks out of him. One wink per show. That's all you get. That's all you get. Transparent aluminum would make a great box. Name that movie reference. I don't know. I don't know. You know, nowadays I'm a Netflix kind of guy. I watch some movies. I watch some B-class movies, but I'm not a huge movie guru like some people are. I'm slacking. All I do is car audio and breathing and sheets cleaning. That's all. That's it. Speaking of sheets cleaning, there's John. Would you look at that? Look at it. That's the wrong one. That's the wrong one, too. Too many.
Just look at this, John. Look at it. The new Kicker L7XS. Square as a pizza box, but built like a brick. I mean, seriously, would you just look at this? I'm looking. Man, would you just look at this? Look at it.
And
Just look at it.
4,000 watts power handling RMS.
It's awesome. L7XS. I'm excited. And it's Tuesday, isn't it, Governor? It's Tuesday. It's always Tuesday. Thank you for tuning in, John. Love you. Appreciate you, sir. And you're working tomorrow, right? And Mike, appreciate you as well. I think that's Mike DePauli. Mike Palalo. No, wait. I know that image. God. Why did YouTube have to change everybody's names all around? It's driving me nuts. If you notice that your name's different, fix it. Glad you got to look at it, Andy. Thank you, 405. Is that Kyle? Thank you, Kyle, for tuning in. Awesome job tonight, by the way. I want to get you on my show, one-on-one, in the future. We need to do that. You know, we'll figure it out. Appreciate all your support in Kicker Club, too. And that was awesome. I was dying tonight. I was like, oh, no. We're looking at it. We're all looking at it. I've corrupted Kicker. Just look at it. Yeah, I mean, that's all you can do. You just gotta look at it.
Well,
Would you look at that? Oh my gosh, just look at it. Just look at it. You gotta look at it this way, okay? You just gotta look at it. That's all you can do anymore.
That's all you can do anymore, man. Seriously, it's all you can do. Let's see here. There's Mike DePauli. Appreciate you, Mike. Love you, buddy. Loving the Q-Class. I have a few more sitting on the shelf, and I need to build some boxes. And you know what? That's my problem, too. I need to get a really good dust collector. I know you built a nice one. I'm going to have to look at your video. Because I run into that problem. I'm like, I want to build boxes. I got a table saw, I got a crate jig, I got everything, right? I built so many boxes. But every time I build boxes, my garage gets annihilated with sawdust everywhere. And it's cold. And really, when I like to build boxes is the winter time. Because it's slow. And it's like, I want to try different stuff. And I'm not going to sweat in the garage building a box, right? Don't have AC in there. And, That was kind of hindering me. I'm like, man, I do not have a box for my 15 gold. I got the gold, old school gold, the new school gold, a Kicker, I don't know, 95 solo barrack sitting over here that I got from Mr. Mayo. You know, and I don't have a single box for it. So then I went and picked one up. from Amazon. And you know, let me say, first look, it was amazing. It sounds good enough. It sounds good. But that terminal cup right there, if you just look at it, it wasn't glued in or screwed in. I am not kidding you. That terminal cup came right out. I screwed it in. I'm going to get a new terminal cup for it. And the spring terminals are so chintz, and like it accepts like maybe like 16 gauge. Like my 12 gauge was like barely fitting in it. But the box sounds like awesome. $86. You know, that's like, that's wood and carpet, man. No time. Not exactly how I want it, but it works. But I'm like, I don't have any boxes. I have all these speakers and no boxes. And I have some, but it's like, you know, squares, right? All square boxes. That's the problem. The only guy I know oval boxes is Master William. Master Will. I love Will. He is awesome. He is awesome. Appreciate you, Basehead 30. Thank you for tuning in. And of course, Kicker. Of course. The real Mike in the house. Appreciate you, sir. And congratulations on winning that 50% off discount code. You got the first ever little discount code card that goes along with it. Just appreciate you, man. Thank you for tuning in. And by the way, the BIOS is acting up again. Can't get back into it. And I'm not flashing it because the CPU is running great. Everything's running good, but it's saying I can't update Windows 11. I don't want to, but it keeps saying that. I need you to take a look at it. Sorry, I don't want to unplug everything because I know that's probably what I have to do, and I don't want to. I don't want to do it, Mike. I don't want to do it. There are so many wires, and everything works for the stream, but it's just the little things. Appreciate you, and congratulations. Troy, love you, man. Is this where all the cool people hang out? Yes, indeed, sir. I mean, there's a few of us. You know, not all of us are cool. Most of us are cool, you know, here and there. Appreciate you, Troy. Hope you're doing well, sir. Hope you're doing well. Troy is one of the very first internet friends like you guys I've ever met, and I actually pranked him. And it wasn't with a kicker meme. The Rad 3K. I'm talking a huge amplifier surfboard. It was a Rad 3K, all right. A radiator cover, that's what it was. I got so many people, and I got Troy. But that's how we met. Thank you for tuning in. Ryder again. What's up, Andy and fellow supporters? Appreciate you. Thanks for hanging out with us again, and appreciate you so much, sir. Here and in the Discord. We only do the Discord after parties for special occasions, and not tonight. I mean it is every night's special, but you know, not special. Got to be special. Harbor Freight has a new Bauer one that already has the Cyclone and HEPA filter. I love me some Harbor Freight. I'm gonna have to go take a look at that, you know, because really I like the Craig jig better because it's easier. Table saw, you really do need a second hand, you know, and Kayla, she already does enough. But right, I'm gonna have to take a look at that. Thank you, Justin. Appreciate you, sir. Ask Mr. SDK himself. He got a nice setup. Oh, well, yeah, I mean, I guess you're right. That PC, yeah, he's got that PC filter and everything. I mean, he is the sawdust king. I should ask him too. It's just, I want to be able to build boxes, and it's just like, that's hindering me from even thinking about doing. I'm like, my garage finally doesn't have any dust in it. Like, I haven't built a box in there in at least almost 2 years, coming up on 2 years. Last box was Cookie Monster box that's in there now. That was the last one we did in there. But, you know, all birch, you know, Home Depot birch. You know, not the best birch, but still not as bad as MDF. MDF, man, nope, black stuff comes out my nose. I don't like MDF. Ryan Wilson, the new Kicker Solo XS name will go good with the XS 90 Max battery with its logo. I know, whenever I said the XS show, it's like, not really trying to support XS power here, you know, like in my mind. it rolls with it, though. I mean, if there's any battery brand Kicker does endorse, it is XS power. And the XS90 Max is cool. It's lithium iron phosphate, same chemistry I got in Cookie Monster, but I will be taking that out. I like LTO just a little bit better. I don't know. It's to me, LTO I just like because you can literally discharge that down to 0 volts and bad things don't always happen. You know, it's just really safe. LFP is more energy dense, lower voltage, but more energy dense. Technically a stronger battery. It's got more volts per cell, 3.2 compared to 2.3, 2.4 for LTO. And that's really how you tell how strong a battery is. That's why you see C-Max, lithium ion, 3.7. It's the highest. It's the highest energy density, highest voltage per cell, but then you gotta, charge higher. 4 series, they make it easy to get into the lithium game, and that's why I like being branded with XS Power as well. Code, just Andy, check it out. But still, because you don't have to do anything. It's just like me buying a custom box online from SDK Enclosures or from whoever, but a custom battery. I don't have to build it myself in my garage and have a dust collector or have know-how of putting a battery together and a balancer and getting the correct bus bars. It's done. And that's what's cool about what they do, and just like anything, it's expensive. Well, you don't have to do anything. They do it for you. Plus there's a warranty. You buy your batteries from where they come from, and there's probably not a warranty on there. And if it is, you're going to have to ship it, and it's going to take 90 days to get new batteries. Let's see here. I know we need to do batteries again. I love batteries. And, I just see it on Facebook a lot. The battery groups on there that Brad runs, it's awesome. But there's still a lot of lack of knowledge with batteries everywhere. And, it's just kind of crazy. It's like you would think with all the money we invest into our subs and amplifiers and DSPs and all this other stuff, we would know 100% about batteries too. And it's definitely like the afterthought of the system. It's like alternator. Yeah, they're fine with that. Yeah, I need a big alternator. But we're like still working on like, hey, man, you need a battery. You need a lithium battery. What kind of lithium you want? What do you want to charge at? All that fun stuff, man. There's a lot to it. And yes, cool people are square. I mean, you knew this from day one, Double E. You knew this from day one. Build a box for the Philadelphia Steagles. The Steagles, we'll go with that. Man, them Chiefs ain't looking too hot, man. It's okay. Patriots are doing good again, it's like we're back in 2000s again. Steelers are not looking so good. It's not looking good. I'll just take a look at it, no problem.
Would you look at that? Oh my gosh, just look at it. Just look at it. You gotta look at it this way, okay? You just gotta look at it. That's all you can do anymore.
Thank you, Mike. I will just take a look at it. Appreciate you so much, man, and thank you for tuning in and always just being here. Yeah, you're gonna have to, I'm gonna have to give you $5 for gas. What are we doing here, Mike? Thank you so much, man. Thank you for taking a look at it, too. In advanced, cool by age. Yes, Kicker Car. Got a little heated over that. I'm going to put this one here as super chats because for some reason they weren't coming up on this. This I usually use for the super chats, and I don't know why it's not. There we go. One thing never works. It's always one thing. I have to reach out to Kicker. My amp went into protect mode, took back to installer, and we found a tear in each of my solo 8 surrounds. Oh man, I'm sorry. And that's how we learn. It's an expensive thing, but we learn the system. We learn how far to push things, and at least you're dealing with a company that is, out of all the companies in car audio, literally the best to deal with returns and warranties. So yeah, but with the 8 surround tearing, I hear that a lot. I have not had a Kicker surround tear on me once, and I push things hard. But it's like, I feel like when that does happen, it's always mechanical, like you're pushing that driver farther than you should. And usually what it comes from is playing songs you're not familiar with on the system, and then there's like a low note that comes out of nowhere, and even if it's for a split second, you're unloading and that speaker is launching too far, and that's when you run into those tears. No bueno. But at least they're taking care of you. And with the amplifier, I mean, they do go in protect mode. It's if they come out. The only time I've ever blown up a kicker amplifier, other than the 4 channels. The 4 channels, you know, they don't like 8 volts too much, or too much pre-out voltage on the older amplifiers that are not 40 volt safe. Now, with the LX3000, I am actually shipping that to Kicker this week, but I blew that up with a Tesla coil, sending it to the pre-out, you know, RCAs. Yeah, just, I mean, it was working, okay? It was working, all right? It was working. It was awesome. It was awesome. Lightning was making that speaker move. It was so cool. But an expensive lesson, you know? Time. I want that LX3000 right now for my dad's car instead of a Warhorse. But we will be dynoing Warhorses. Next Tuesday, we're going to dyno the 1000.4. I have to find the voltmeter. We're going to dyno the 1000.4. I don't think anybody's... I don't know if Kicker did dyno. Maybe they did. I think they dynoed it. I'm not sure. But either way, we're going to dyno it next Tuesday. The 1000 Warhorse. It's going to be awesome. Oh, Project Farm. He is amazing. He is amazing. You know, he's like the, man, it's not brain rot, but man, he just keeps you so interested every clip. And it's like, we're going to do this. And it's just like, it's crazy. It's nonstop. And that's why he's so successful. And he actually tests things fairly well, you know, for just being a guy that just, you know, just started out of nowhere. It's kind of crazy. Let's see. Yeah, we need nuclear-powered vacuum cleaners for our SPL machines. Yes, Electro. Thank you, Shoop Dog. Don't forget to kick the like. Just kick the like, guys. Appreciate you. And, oh, by the way, it is actually Dave's birthday.
Just hit the like.
Just hit the like. That Dave right there. Happy birthday, Dave Kosalik. And thank you, Shoop Dog. Appreciate you always hanging out. Love your support, man. Let's do a few last questions here. We're at 57 minutes. You guys have been awesome. Andy or Kip, I am running dual 2 ohm solo 8s on a CX1800. Would it be worth upgrading to the LX3000, seeing it technically only puts out 200 watts more at 2 ohms? Right, so dual 2 at 2 ohm, right, you're going to be at half ohm, 2 ohm, or 8 ohm. Right, so, yeah, yeah, because at 3000, it's a 1 ohm. It's not the any load. It's not going to do 3000 at 1 and 2, right? So, right, now, I feel like the LX is, being that it's not an any load, no, it's still not going to have more headroom. It's just going to have more features, you know, with the clip detection. I mean, for anybody that's a bass head, I know there was reasons why they didn't do it for the Warhorse, but I mean, every kicker amplifier, I wish to God they had a clip limiter. Even though I don't really look at it, sometimes I do, and it's like, all right, I'm going to play right there, just so I know I'm clean. And it's all the power that I need anyway. You can hear clipping, but I mean, 2% to 1% it can be a difference on your coil. So back to this topic right here, I don't think it's going to be a huge major difference between that, you know, just a pure output, but features. You know, the LX3000 has that Q factor, like where if you are, like, you can add bass boost to your system. There's nothing wrong with it. Just remember when you're setting your gain to check with like pink noise and all this other kind of fun stuff to make sure you're not clipping at all said frequencies because you're boosting at 40. And that's where most bass boost is adjusted at 40 hertz. You can actually change that on the LX amplifiers. You can change the bass boost frequency and its bandwidth of, instead of just 12 dB slope where there normally are, or 6 dB slope, you can change the wideness and narrowness of that. So I think that would be like, you know, -6 to 24. Don't quote me, but I know you can change the Q factor of that bass boosting stuff. And also, I think where you could also see a huge gain between the LX and the CX, even though they're the same power, the CX1800 is, I would call it a beginner amp. It's got a set crossover subsonic at 25 hertz and negative 24 dB. So as soon as you hit 25, it's going to start rolling off really sharp. And if you got a system that can play lower and like, whatever, you might want to turn that off. And the LX, you can. You can turn that off, and then you can set it actually higher than 25. You can set it, I think, up to 40 or 30 or something. I think it's like 40. So say you have a system that, cannot play really low, and instead of like turning your gain down, you can just adjust that crossover, which is the subsonic, infrasonic crossover, just the same as you would on the top end, so that you're not playing frequencies that are too high, but lower, but maybe higher frequency. Like you want to start cutting off at like 33 because you got a pair of 8s that don't play below 28 hertz. So set up the crossover higher than 25. That's where I feel like the LX would have the advantage over the CX1800 by more than just power. It's the features. It really is. And with your surrounds going bye-byes, that might be a good idea, because then you can adjust that subsonic so that doesn't happen. I know it's going to be like, maybe I'm cutting too much off. And that's where you have to play with the tuning of the subsonic crossover. Try a bunch of different songs, or maybe just don't play certain songs and you don't have to worry about subsonic tuning. You just don't, because it's not going to play that frequency and you're good to go. I love the name, but I'm not going to read it. Thank you for subscribing. I can't. Why stepping down from the Warhorse again? Who's stepping down from the Warhorse? ZX10 to CX line of amplifiers are legit great amplifiers and do everything they say and then some. The LX is going to give you more power, newer technology, more features, right? If you're running it at 1 ohm. He could be at half ohm and he could see a lot of power. But do those 2 8s need half ohm 3000 LX power? Probably not. But I'm running a Warhorse at 2 ohm on a Kicker Gold. It's nice to have that headroom, and I can physically hear when that speaker is just, that's it, and take it down and click. That's it. I don't smell anything. This is great because I'm never going to clip, just, within reason. Let's see. I mean, yeah, it's just, with me from that, it's just, I don't need that. And really that Warhorse that's in my dad's car that was on the L7X15 that's on the Gold was actually in Cookie Monster. And since Cookie Monster's in storage, I want to play with a Warhorse. I need more power than an 1800.1, and I broke my trunk hatch by doing so. So, expensive lessons. They're great. They're great. But you know what? That's how you learn. You learn. You're like, okay, that's too loud. And really, with the Gold 15 and the stock JBL system that's in the Toyota RAV, which is amazing stock system, let me tell you, with like auto DSPs and everything, can be annoying on some songs, as long as it doesn't play like 90 hertz. For some reason, it does not like high bass, and then it like pulls everything down. It's actually amazing. It sounds like I know how to like tune really, really, really good. It's like, oh yeah, man, this front stage is awesome. Too much bass, it doesn't, you don't even hear the front stage. You don't hear any of that because you're just drowned out by L7X15, and I am not upgrading any of those speakers in there because that is the work vehicle for now. You know what I mean? It's a new car. I really don't want to, because if I'm doing that, I'm talking 8-channel. Yeah, we're going to need DSP, KIP, and, just a lot of stuff to make everything OEM and also aftermarket work together. Let's see. Thank you, Pyre Alive Wire. Appreciate you. How you been, sir? Just to be Red Foreman from that 70 show. Red Foreman. I need to watch that again. Appreciate that, Andy. Great information to know. Hey, that's why we're here. That's why we turn the lights on every Tuesday. Kicker, same way. And thank you for tuning in, man. Appreciate you. Jason, okay, let's see what we got. Okay, run it a little bit over. I think if we ever get solid-state batteries, that would be the closest to a small nuclear reactor. Just modern lithium batteries have created so many innovations. They always talked about this solid-state battery, and look it up recently. Is what it is on whatever. Why is the cycle life like 500 cycles? That's not good enough. It's not good enough. That's another reason why I love LTO. 10,000 plus cycles. That's insane. LFP 3000, like those CMAX 90s, you know, whatever, JY40s, lithium iron phosphate. Easier lithium to run. And then your standard car battery, which is like 300 cycles, you know, lead acid, AGM, barely any cycles. Lithium ion, not that many cycles. Not that many cycles, but very energy dense. LTO, that's why, I don't know, man. You need more of it, but it lasts forever. That's a lithium you can put in your car and not have to replace for like 10 years. And I like that. I like that. Solid state, I feel like batteries are getting better. And, you know, there's always that new chemistry that someone comes out with. Like, even like the sodium batteries, they're not there quite yet. Like, yeah, they are. And getting sodium is a lot easier than getting lithium. But they're not as energy dense. And, I don't know, for car audio, they just really don't 100% make sense. Just because their range is really wide. 2 to 4 volt, you know, and the operating is fine, you know, it's 3 volts per cell, 12 volts. It's low. You got 4 series, you know. Your resting voltage is 12 volts. It's kind of low. Kind of low. It's fine, you know. People do all kind of mixing with stuff, but it's not, I don't think it's there yet. I'm not a firm believer on the sodium. I'm not. Cheap and availability compared to lithium, oh yeah. Probably a little bit easier on the ecosphere of the world, you know, that whole green factor. But car audio, I'm okay. Let's see, any more questions? Kip says, no, I would run the LX amplifier at 2 ohms just like how he is now, and then he would have another 1,000 watts of headroom when the impedance clips below 2 ohm during normal operation. Right, you know, and I feel like the headroom is key. Because with that CX amplifier, you really are capped at that 1,800 watts. Like, you can get a little bit more, like 1.5, whatever, you know, and then it goes lower at 1 ohm. There's a lot of restriction right above your head, rather than having an amplifier where the ceiling is way up there, but you're only on level 2. So, like, you're okay. You're never really stressing all the internal parts of the amplifier. And that factor could also be something to think about too, that the amplifier's running easier, so then it's running more efficient, and it's actually taxing your system less, making your voltage better, and making your power better than it was on the other amplifiers being stressed as hot and running less efficient. So there's a lot of ways like you can, you know, kind of like go crazy of like, what's better? But I mean, an LX amplifier, it's literally a KX 2.0. KXA 2.0. Should I say KX 3.0? Yeah, the KX, KXA. Now we got the LX amplifier. Pretty sure there'll be an LXA amplifier, you know, 4 or 5 years from now. So that is awesome. Thank you, Kip. Kipster! Full Tilt Boogie. We got to play. We got to play it. Here we go. Okay. Thank you for tuning in. Salt. Sodium batteries don't exist yet. They're on the horizon. They're there. I've watched a lot of videos on it. It's just they're not mass produced yet. But the cycle life is, yeah. I forget what the resting voltage is on them too. My sodium 6-cell bank is great, only on 2,000 watts of power. Yeah, my sodium salt 20 amp hour single bank, just like that, worked fine on the CX 1800 that I have. But then I put in the Titan 8S5. And my voltage was a lot better. And that battery's rated for a lot more too. Smaller, you know, less capacity, half the capacity, but the voltage was staying stout longer, you know, and that's just the nature of each individual cell. Sodiums are, they're more capacity leaning of what they are now. They need to make higher discharge sodium. And that's kind of what I'm getting at. Car audio, you need high discharge cells, right? That's why you see these itty bitty 2.9 amp hours, but then they have like 75C. And I got the 6 amp hours and they're 80C. And that just means they're like an ant. Like how an ant can lift 50 times their weight. That's 50C. And we're 1C. We're an AGM battery. If you can bench press your own weight, that's 1C, right? So sodium is more like a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6C, you know, like they're pretty strong. I could bench 1,000 pounds. But then, you know, the LTO and other high discharge cells can do 40, 50 or more times their own weight. That's high discharge. And then you have all that discharge capability. Then you just have a lot more cells for more capacity to make up so you can play longer and you're good. And I think Sodium just needs to get to that point and then we'll start talking. And there is Cornut coming in early. He is, wait, is it already the caboose?
The caboose. The sweet caboose powering this team from the rear. That's just a caboose chugging along every week.
Oh, man. I think that means that I gotta end the show then. Yeah, we're gonna have to. Yep, because the caboose is here. I'm like a half C then. Man, you know, I used to be like 1.4, 1.5 C in high school. I was weighing 130, could bench 185. I'd be surprised if I could bench my weight now. I think we're down 1 C. I think our cells are degrading a little bit, and yeah, we need to do some battery regeneration. Thank you, Cornut. Appreciate you, sir. There is Corny. Used to be, then you got old. Half C caboose. I'm done. All right, guys, this was an awesome show. Thank you for tuning in again, Kicker. Kip, thanks for hanging out. Steve Irby, thank you for just doing everything that you do. The XS is a beautiful driver. Kyle, awesome job designing it, being the brains behind it. John, awesome job on the Unmasked show tonight. Ernie, good job doing all the enhancing and switching. J-Dub on the comment section. And I think Steve was also on the camera as usual. Love you guys so much. Thank you for watching this show and Kicker Unmasked. And I will see you next Tuesday. And we're going to dyno a Kicker Warhorse 1000.4. Have an awesome week. I love you guys. Have a great night. And that's it. Stay living loud. Yes.
Okay. So we're kicking it with Andy, right? You know what that means. We living loud. You're telling me I should not do half ohm. I would never do half ohm, Kip. I would never do half ohm on any of my builds ever in my life. I would never think of doing anything like that, Kip. Thanksgiving is here. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. And
You better make it, Double E. You better make it to Slamology. Oh, the L7X, man. Still a beast, and that beast broke this latch. And it cost me $500, okay? Yes, the L7X is a beast. It still will always be a beast, but the L7XS is coming right down the road. It is coming right down the road, man.
The caboose. The sweet caboose powering this team from the rear. That juicy caboose chugging along every week.
Powering from the rear. Love it. Love me some Perna. And now we dance. Oh, whoa. Jason Grant. Hello. Great community. Happy Turkey Day, everybody. Thank you, Jason. And then Kicker Cars coming in, stealing it. What the heck? In for the